So 6.2 is about the law of cosines. And the law of cosines, again, we're using in non-right triangles. And triangles that you have three sides, or you have side, angle, side. And then we're also going to get another area formula called Heron's formula to find areas of non-right triangles as well. So again, we're using law of cosines when we have three sides or when we have side, angle, side. So here are your formulas for law of cosine, and these are not like three different ones that you need to memorize. These are just formulas based on the information. So if you have, if you have side B and C and angle A, then you would be left solving for side A. Whereas if you had side A and C and angle B, then you would solve for side B. Same thing with C. Or you can move everything to the other side and have just the angle. So if you want to solve for angle A, you can do B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. And if you notice kind of the pattern, it's that B plus C, and you have the B and the C, and then you just are subtracting whatever that side is that's opposite the angle. But you will need to know these formulas in order to solve the triangles using the law of cosines. So let's look at this example, and we're going to find all three angles. So let's first start by finding angle A. So to find angle A, I'm going to use the alternate formula, and I'm going to use the cosine of A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. So I'll say that the cosine of A equals side B, which is 19 squared, plus side C squared, so 14 squared, minus A squared, which is 8 squared, over 2 times 19 times 14. So if we simplify what's in the numerator, we get 493. And 2 times 19 times 14 is 532. And so then to solve for angle A, we're going to take the inverse cosine of 493 over 532. And so we get that angle A is 22.1 degrees. Okay, so now to solve for B, we'll do that same thing. So we'll say cosine of B equals A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2 times A times C. And so if we simplify this, we get the cosine of B equals negative 101 over 224. And so if we take the inverse cosine of negative 101 over 224, we get angle B. And we find that angle B is 116.8 degrees. And then instead of doing the law of cosines for the third time, to find angle C, I'll probably just do 180, which is all three angles, minus 116.8 minus 22.1. And so I get that angle C is 41.1 degrees. All right, so let's use law of cosines in a story problem. So here we have a baseball field, a baseball diamond, and it says the pitcher's mound, a softball field. The pitcher's mound on a softball field is 43 feet from home plate. The distance between the bases is 60 feet as shown in the figure. The pitcher's mound is not halfway between home plate and second base. How far is the pitcher's mound from first base? So we have to find H, and we have a side, an angle, and a side. And so we're going to set up our law of cosines, that's H squared because that's the side opposite the angle that we know, equals 43 squared, so that's one of the sides, plus 60 squared, minus 2 times 43 times 60 times the cosine of the angle measure opposite the side that you're solving for. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start and combine some terms. So we're going to add these together, and then we're going to combine that. Or what you can do is in your calculator, you can just type this whole thing in one long equation. And if you type all of that in one long equation, you get 1800.329. And so you have to remember, though, that this is squared. So you have to take the square root of whatever you get for h squared to get h. And so then if we take the square root of that, you get 42.43 feet. Right, so it's pretty close to that 43 feet, but it's not exact. And then the last thing we're talking about in this section is Heron's area formula. So Heron's formula you're using when you're given 3 sides of a triangle. And so the area formula is S, and the way that you solve for S. So first you have to find your S value, and your S value are you add the 3 sides together. So you do A plus B plus C and divide by 2. So this would be like if you have this triangle where you have 3 sides, A, B, and C. So if we add the 3 side lengths, divide by 2, that gives us the S. And then we substitute into this area formula our S value and our 3 side lengths. All right, so here's our triangle. So let's first start by solving for S. And remember, S is A plus B plus C. So 43 plus 53 plus 72. So we do A plus B plus C, and we divide that by 2. And so if we calculate that, we get that S is 84. Okay, so then remember our area formula is the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. And so we have to substitute those values in. So we have the square root of 84 times 84 minus A, which is 43, times 84 minus B, which is 53, times 84 minus C, which is 72. So you get A equals the square root of 84 times 41 times 31 times 12. So A equals the square root of 1,281,168. And if you take the square root of that, we get that the area of this triangle is 1,131.9 meters squared. And then this last slide is just a reminder of your 3 different formulas you have for a triangle. Remember, your standard formula is just your area is 1/2 base times height. If you have a side angle side triangle, you'll use the formula that we used in law of sines. And then if you have a side triangle, right? So this is your side angle side triangle. And this would be your side triangle if you don't have right triangles.